Nothing excites you anymore. Even the things you thought would change your life, the degree, the promotion, the big trip, it all happens, and yet the spark you were waiting for never really comes. And that's terrifying. Because if even the good things don't feel good, then what's left? Think about the last time you finally got something you thought would fix everything. Maybe it was a raise, a new car, a relationship, or even just the latest phone. You felt that rush for a moment, but then it faded. And you were right back where you started. On the surface, you're collecting milestones, but inside, it feels like a balloon that was supposed to float forever, slowly sinking to the floor. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're caught in a trap most people never see until it's too late. A trap that convinces you to keep chasing while draining the joy from every step forward. Picture this. You're in a busy cafe. Friends around you are laughing, smiling, full of life. And there you are, staring into your coffee, physically present but emotionally miles away. You wonder, why can't I feel what they're feeling? You've made lists, set goals, pushed yourself harder, but all those boxes you've checked, they just feel like items on a crumpled piece of paper, like a golden balloon slowly deflating in a silent room, the air escaping without a sound. That's what most of your victories feel like now. You should be celebrating. But instead, you're left with that hollow ache of, is this it? Nights stretch longer. You lie awake, staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., glowing digits of the clock reminding you how tired you'll be tomorrow. And yet, you can't sleep. Because deep down something feels wrong. So you keep searching. You open your phone. Scroll through other people's highlight reels. Maybe if you see how happy they look, you'll feel some of it too. But instead, the pit only gets deeper. And slowly, you start to wonder, if even the good things feel empty, then maybe nothing will ever feel enough. Let that land. But here's the truth no one tells you. You're not hopeless. You're hijacked. Your brain's reward system has been rewired, not by you, but by the world you live in. Every morning coffee, every scroll through TikTok, every like, every purchase, it's like another shot of dopamine, tiny sparks that keep you reaching for the next one. And soon, the sparks stop feeling special. Imagine sitting in a room, surrounded by glowing screens flashing nonstop, each one promising happiness, each one pulling at you, until you can't even remember what silence feels like. Science calls it dopamine desensitization. Flood your brain often enough and the receptors literally shrink, meaning the thrill that once gave you fireworks now barely flickers. So what happens? You need more. You scroll longer, buy more, chase harder. But the highs fade quicker, and the lows cut deeper. It's why the gym mirror doesn't give you pride anymore. Why self-help books feel inspiring for 3 chapters, then gather dust. Why even the nights out, once wild and unforgettable, now blur together into background noise. It's not that you've failed. It's that your brain has been trained to expect fireworks. And now, nothing less will do. And if you stay on this path, nothing will ever be enough. Because the more you chase excitement, the more numb you become. But you're not the first to feel this. 2,000 years ago, a man named Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, faced the same crisis. Plagues, wars, crushing duty. The entire empire on his shoulders. And yet, in the quiet of his journal, he wrote, "Everything is fleeting, both what remembers and what is remembered." Marcus wasn't chasing fireworks. He knew they burn out fast. Instead, he wrote about finding a flame that stays lit, even in the darkest nights. Picture yourself standing before a towering philosopher's statue. It doesn't sparkle, it doesn't flash, but it stands steady through centuries. That's the kind of life Marcus was searching for. And here's the paradox he discovered. The more you run after excitement, the more it runs from you. But the moment you stop chasing, life quietly begins to return to color. The Stoics called it difficult joy, not the thrill of a new purchase, not the sugar rush of likes and notifications, but the deep, steady strength that grows from living with intention, from noticing the ordinary, and calling it enough. Let this settle before the turn into the modern paradox. Here's the paradox of our time. The more we chase excitement, the less alive we feel. We keep turning up the volume, hoping that louder, brighter, faster will finally fill the silence. But instead, We go deaf to the very things that used to move us. Think about it. That first like on a post felt electric. Now, you could get 100 and still feel nothing. That first pay raise felt incredible. Now, you barely notice when it happens. The novelty burns out, and the baseline resets. We've been trained to believe the answer is always more. More success, more stimulation, more productivity hacks. But more is the exact thing that's making us feel less. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't outchase emptiness. You can't keep sprinting toward a finish line that doesn't exist. The only way forward is to stop, to sit with the silence you've been running from. Because in that silence, life slowly begins to return. This is where the Stoics had it right. They didn't chase fireworks. They trained themselves to notice the flicker of a single flame. They called it difficult joy. Not the kind of joy that bursts in applause, but the kind that holds steady when the noise fades. A candle in the dark, small, quiet, resilient. The fix isn't glamorous. It won't show up on Instagram. It's slow, it's ordinary, and it works. It starts with subtraction, not addition. Delete one app. Say no to one event you don't want to attend. Close the tab instead of opening another. Each subtraction creates a little space, a space your brain can finally breathe in. Imagine a desk with nothing on it but a journal, a steaming cup of tea, and a plant. Simple, quiet, ordinary. But in that quiet, you can finally hear your own thoughts again. You can notice the warmth of the cup in your hands, the smell of paper and ink, the way the morning sun falls across the page. Or picture yourself walking a forest trail, no headphones, no notifications, just the sound of leaves crunching under your shoes and your own breathing keeping pace. That's not emptiness, that's the beginning of renewal. And it doesn't end there. Cook a simple meal from scratch, watch the steam rise, feel the knife slice through fresh vegetables. These small things matter more than we think, because they retrain your brain to recognize meaning where it always was. Let me give you a roadmap. This week, don't try to fix your entire life. Just do 3 things. Write 1 honest page in a journal. Take 1 walk without your phone. Choose 1 distraction to cut, even for a day. That's it. Small, simple, ordinary. And here's the hidden magic. At first, it will feel boring. You'll want to quit. Your brain will scream for more, but if you stay with it, you'll start to notice tiny sparks returning, not fireworks, not explosions, but small lights in the dark. And over time, those lights grow, because life doesn't get its meaning from how loud it is, but from how deeply you live it. And depth only grows in quiet soil. Imagine yourself sitting on a park bench at golden hour. No phone, no rush, just the sun warming your face and the sound of the world carrying on around you. That moment right there, that's the seed of meaning. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "Nothing excites me anymore," don't panic. Don't assume you're broken. Recognize it for what it is, a sign that your life is ready to change direction. Maybe the answer isn't to chase harder. Maybe the answer is to stop long enough for life to catch up with you. To sit in the quiet, to let your flame grow steady. Because you don't need more fireworks. You need a fire that lasts, a journal with honest words, a friend who really listens, a single candle burning in the dark. That's enough. That's always been enough. Depth over dopamine. This is philosophy for humans.